think we are. I think we're good. We're good. All right, cool beans. Thank you so much. Okay, so you know what? This was their plan all along. The news that came out today, this was their plan. This was the idea. This was the agenda. They wanted this to happen. And then they turn around and lied to us, telling all of us that everything was fine. Nothing to worry about. Remember, they changed the definition of a recession. They changed the definition of it. Remember? I even showed it. One day it was talking about 2 consecutive quarters, and even on Google, they changed it on Wikipedia, they changed it everywhere they could think of. A coordinated attack against the American people on verbiage and language and the definition. They changed the definition on everything. Remember? So I'll never forget it, because I went out there and I looked it up, because, you know, I never claimed to be a economist or anything like that. So I went out there and looked it up. I Googled it. You know, the economy. What is a recession? And it said 2 consecutive quarters with the economy being down. And I should have taken a screenshot, and I'm kicking myself that I didn't, but I actually highlighted it and copied the information. But then the next day, when the report actually came out, they changed the definition, saying it's just a few months, right? So what's a few months? So now it hit again. It hit again. And are they talking? So now what? Third time? Third time's the charm. Now, do you go and say that we're in a recession? But they don't even do that. They do. You know what? You have to give it to the Democrats. You have to give it to them. They stick to their guns. They lie, and they're sticking to the lie. Even though we know that they're lying, they're sticking with it. So you have to give that to them. You have to give it to them. We're not falling for it, and they're getting frustrated because we're not falling for it. Let me just go to the first one here, because I got a lot to show with you, and I'm not going to waste any time here. I'm just going to get on with it. Listen to this. Listen, I got some really short clips. So y'all have heard the report that the last time I looked, when I saw the report, the Dow was down 1,200 points. 1,200. I mean, it's like the country's collapsing. While the country is collapsing, listen to what Karine Jean-Pierre, listen to what she says.
Overall, prices have been essentially flat in our country these last 2 months.
Overall, the prices have been flat these last 2 months. I took a picture when I went to the store. It was a 1 pound. It was a 2 pound salmon. 2 pound salmon. $31. $31 for 2 pound salmon. I couldn't believe it. I was like, is this real? So I'm like, this can't possibly be real. So I took a picture. And sure enough, everybody's seen it across the board. And she literally just sit there and said,
overall, prices have been essentially flat in our country these last 2 months.
So she's deliberately lying. Look, I got another one for you. These are really short clips from today, apparently, where she's literally lying to the American people. And where are the fake fact checkers? Oh, wait a minute. The fake fact checkers don't check these people when they're actually lying. They only check the people who tells the truth. If you tell the truth about something, then the fake fact checkers will come after you. But Karine Jean-Pierre, she's constantly lying, and none of them are saying anything. They're all silent, knowing good and well that she's lying. Listen.
Now, today's CPI data show more progress in bringing global inflation down here at home. Now, today's CPI data show more progress in bringing global inflation down here at home. Now, today's CPI data show more progress in bringing global inflation down here at home.
Where in the world is she getting this? She's just reading it from her piece of paper there. She's reading it. She just reading because she got it right there. It's written for her to read it. Just same thing like Joe Brandon when he'll read the teleprompter, end quote. No, it says end quote, right? Same thing. She's just reading because this is what she's told to say. This is what she's being told to read to the people. She's being told this. They're even asking her, how is Biden's inflation deal supposed to bring down the inflation? How is it supposed to help? So let me ask everyone that's watching this real quick before I play this next one. What happens to when we go into a fourth quarter? I'm just asking because I don't know. maybe you, the professionals out there, the economists out there, you can tell me and the rest of us what's going to happen when it comes to the fourth quarter, right? What happens when we get hit again? This is their plan all along. This has been their plan. Listen to this.
What exactly would the Inflation Reduction Act do to reduce inflation in the short term?
See, now that's the question. What is the act? Now, I want y'all to listen and pay attention to her response here. Because the question is, what will it do to bring it down inflation? This is another short clip. That's the question. Now, if you were asked that question and you in her position, I'm pretty sure you would have a completely different answer than the one she's about to give here.
What exactly would the Inflation Reduction Act do to reduce inflation in the short term?
So when you look at the lowering costs in particular for Americans, I think that's important when you think about how inflation has increased costs for Americans.
She's not even saying anything. She's not even saying anything. She's so out of her depth. The correct answer is it's not going to do anything, because you can see today it went through the roof. 1,200 points down, people. The Dow, 1,200 points down. The inflation went through the roof. It is crushing the American economy. But this was their plan all along. And I told people, I said, y'all need people. They still do it. They send me emails. They send me messages saying, Will, you're scaring me. You're scaring me. Get ready. I don't know how to tell you. Get ready. Do what you need to do now to be prepared. And I told people 6 months ago, 12 months ago, this was coming. This was the plan, because their plan is to tear down the country. And I try to break it down, right? I try to break it down because most of y'all get it. If not all of y'all. Well, there's some trolls on here, I'm pretty sure, don't get it. But y'all get it. And the reason why y'all watch, because you're like, daggum, this dude is saying the same thing that I'm saying. That's the reason why you watch. Because we're in tune. You know exactly what I'm sitting there telling you. They're doing it. I'm just telling you. And I break it down in lame terms like this, saying that you got to get prepared. You got to get ready. Because President Trump used to say America first, and all the policies and everything that President Trump was doing, he was putting America first. They hate that term. They hate making America great again. They hate it with a passion. And these people are running the government. Do you understand? Do you hear what I'm telling you? They hate the whole idea of America first. So if they hate the idea of America first, and I'm breaking it down in layman's terms, really simple here. If they hate the idea of America first, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to put America last. The policies that they're doing, how they're doing the infrastructure, the way they're doing the military, the way they're doing the police department, the way they're doing the parents going to the school board, the way they're doing children, all of this is by design, and they're doing this because they want to tear down the nation. They don't want America first, people. How many of them have you heard them say America first? Name one Democrat out there that has said America first. Name one. Now, Joe Brandon here lately, he's been saying, we need to build in America, but he's only saying that trying to appeal to us. Like we're going to believe that he's actually for America when he's the reason why we're in this predicament now. Listen to this one. This was on CNBC, which they lean left. They're talking about the economy too. Everyone's talking about it, except for some reason, the people that make these policy changes, the one that's controlling all of this, they don't get it, and they're constantly doing this to us.
Food that we have to pay attention to, up 0.6%.
Food we have to pay attention to. Listen, I'm telling y'all, listen to this.
It's food that we have to pay attention to, up 0.6%, double the expectation. And the high water mark there is up 0.9. That was in April, and that went back to 1981, up 0.6. Well, if you look at up 0.7 in June, that's kind of our comp. Now, the year-over-year numbers, expecting up 8%, up 8.3 on year-over-year, up 8.3. High water mark there was, of course, 9.1. That goes back to 1981. 8.3 equals April, and it is the lowest level since February when it was 7.9. And if we strip out the all-important food and energy on a year-over-year perspective, it's also hotter than expected, up 6.3%. We're expecting up 5.9.
All of this is bad. All of this is bad. And you know what? This is going into the midterm election, and you know the Democrats don't like this right now because it's reminding everybody why we need to vote them out. This is reminding everybody, right? Because they all jumping on board talking about, well, you know what? People are going to the polls because of murdering babies, right? They're saying that people are going to the polls, alarming amount. People are going to the polls. They're all jumping in there because they want to be able to murder babies. They're saying this is what's bringing people out to vote, because they want to have the right to murder babies. See, they don't want you to think about all of this. They don't want you to think about the numbers. They don't want you to think about when you go to the grocery store. They don't want you to think about it when you go to pay your light bill. They don't want you to think about that. Just concentrate on being able to murder babies. That's why you need to go to the polls, because Republicans, oh my goodness, they're taking your right away. They're not allowing you to murder the child any longer. That's literally what they're saying. But here, even on the Communist News Network, they're even talking about the inflation, the numbers. This is not good. Listen to this one.
Inside these numbers, there's some things I'm concerned about. Gasoline prices, while down for the past 80 days or so, are still sharply higher than they were last year. That food category on your screen there, that's the largest monthly increase since 1979. Remember, those are the bad old days when we were fighting very dangerous, entrenched inflation.
I mean, come on. I mean, let me stop it real quick. There's just a couple more seconds in this, but look at this. I mean, even the Communist News Network is talking about how bad this is and the problem it is. Because, see, what I don't understand is why you have these people, see, they're at fault too because of all the situation that we're in. They are to blame, right? Anyone who supported and voted for Joe Brandon and these Democrats, you are to blame. Now, I'm just kind of curious, how many trolls, if there are any trolls, and if you are, just leave, okay? Just leave. Because if you're not here to engage in truth and facts in here, then what's your point of being here? Because look, even your Communist News Network is even talking about how bad this inflation is. And you want to deny it? Are you smoking the same thing as Kamala Harris? Really?
And the shelter number up 6.2% year over year. Again, you can switch what kind of, cuts of meat you're buying at the grocery store, but you can't just turn around and switch where you're living. So that shelter inflation is something that's become a real problem for people up and down the income spectrum. So,
yeah, you know what? Shelter, meaning homes, it's becoming a problem. It's becoming an issue. And again, break it down in layman's terms here. America first, but they don't want America first. They have this whole idea of America last. That's the whole point here. They have this whole idea in their head, America last, and they want to do everything they can. Why do you think they're having rolling blackouts in California? Do you think they're doing that because it's to benefit the people in California? Absolutely not. You know what? They were thinking that they could get a whole bunch of people from California to move out because of all the policies and the taxes and just the right down tyranny that the government in Texas, the state government, was doing to the people. So if they get enough people to move out, they can have the liberal utopia and don't have to tax the grid. But not enough people have left. You know why? Because more people crossing the border, and they got to keep the lights on. They're putting them all in these hotels, et cetera, right? But the whole point with this inflation, again, this was by design. And you think that something has to pop at some point. Yeah, something has to give at some point. But I'm afraid, and I pray that I'm not right. And if you want to send me messages and say, Will, you are incorrect, I will join you because I don't want to be correct. Let me make sure I'm clear about this. I don't want to be correct. But if I am correct, and the way I see it, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. This news that came out about the recession, it hasn't hit yet. See, that's what a lot of people don't know. They're like, oh, we're hearing all these numbers and we hear these reports. We're hearing this information. but it hasn't hit yet. You don't understand. People don't understand. It hasn't hit yet. There's going to be no magical thing that's going to happen that's going to turn it around. It already happened. It already happened. And we're going to get hit with it. And think about it. Joe Brandon and the Democrats, they $10,000 for student loans and $25,000 for Pell Grants, right? To my understanding. What do you think that money's going to happen? The inflation. I mean, all it did was add to it. Now listen to Ted Cruz. And a lot of people like Ted Cruz, thought Ted Cruz was a traitor, because of some of the stuff that he said about in January. You know what I'm talking about. And I like to bring this fact up because I said, Ted Cruz getting called out like that, he's going to end up being a guy that's going to work harder. It's going to work out to our advantage because he's a sitting senator and it's going to work out to our advantage. But listen to what he says about this inflation, and it's extremely important. He's so on point. And of course, the left, they want to ignore it and have everybody believe that everything is okay.
Jobs with good wages. People want their families to be safe and secure. People want their rights protected. That is a common sense agenda that the overwhelming majority of Americans agree with. And so the corporate media doesn't want to talk about it at all. It's our responsibility to lean in and explain, listen, was America better a couple of years ago when we had the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years, or is it better now when people are hurting across this country? Was America better when gas was $2 a gallon or $4 a gallon under Joe Biden? Was America better when we had the lowest rate of illegal immigration in 45 years, which is what it was the last year of the Trump presidency? Or is America better now with utter chaos and 4.2 million people coming across the border illegally? It ain't complicated. Everybody knows. There isn't a Democrat out there that can defend this policy failure.
Not a single one. And, I was saying that earlier about the trolls. If there are any trolls on here watching, how do you defend this? I mean, wait, I know. They're going to blame
Russia.
Right? They're going to blame Russia for it. Right? Am I off the mark there? Or maybe they'll just go and said, well, this is Trump's fault. Trump is the one that shut down the XL pipeline. Wrong. Trump is the one that caused the energy crisis. Wrong. Trump is the one that had to cause the border crisis. Wrong again. President Trump is the reason why we have the food going through the roof. Wrong again. It's really not that difficult. Just like Ted Cruz just sit there and said, it's really not that difficult. America First policies, everyone's 401k was doing better. The economy was doing better. People were working like never before. More black people, Hispanic people working. President Trump broke records. Right? Over 50 years, more people, black and Hispanic people were working in this nation. Over 50 years, breaking records. The stock market was the opposite of what it is today. What they're doing is by design. I don't know how else to lay it out for you. And again, most of y'all get it. Because you're in tune, and I'm just sharing the information with you. And basically, all I'm doing is confirming what you already see. Because you and I, we haven't had to sit down and discuss about this yet. We haven't talked about this, right? We haven't talked about it. We haven't had a personal one-on-one, you and I. We haven't done that. But here I am sharing information with you about what you've been thinking about and what you've been seeing. That's how you know it's true. And if for those of you that haven't seen it, I encourage every single person to go do your own research. Still do your research. I do my research. I'm asking you to do yours, right? That's how you know. I'm not trying to mislead you. I fear God too much. And the trolls, they hate it. It's to the point in our country, the inflation is bad. The Democrats know it's going to hurt them come this November. They know it just flat out. Okay, let's just be honest. They know this is going to hurt them because, again, they want people to go to the polls and think about murdering babies. That's what they want people to go to the polls for, right? You got to vote for Democrats so we can continue to murder babies. That's what they want you to go for. But you know what? Most people aren't pregnant. A rude awakening. And they said, well, you need to jump in there and fight for women to be able to do this. Well, if you want to be able to do that, move to a state like California or New York. That's what the Constitution is. I don't have to like it. I can move out of California. Hello, I did. So because they see that they're in trouble this November, they're coming all out now. I don't know, for those of you that didn't hear about this, 30 subpoenas against President Trump colleagues. 30 subpoenas. This is them going after political rivals to try to shut them down before this November or before 2024, basically, because, I mean, this is not good for the Democrats at all. Listen to Tucker talk about this very thing. They're coming for them. And if they come for people that they want to move out of the way, you and I, we're nothing.
Joins us tonight. Glenn, thanks so much for coming on. I think we've reached the point where even people who didn't take this seriously, like me, are genuinely concerned.
We all should be, right? Listen.
As you should be. You know, it's amazingly ironic. I became a journalist in 2005 in response to the civil liberties abuses justified in the name of the war on terror, where at least there was an actual attack on the United States on 9/11. I thought the threat was exaggerated in order to escalate these civil liberties abuses, but at least there was a real attack. What is the most overlooked part of the Biden administration is that before January 6th, there was an attempt to import that war on terror, that first war on terror, onto domestic soil. Adam Schiff, one of the most authoritarian members of Congress, in addition to being one of the most pathological liars, had legislation pending that would do nothing but take that first war on terror and make it domestic. And you can look at a Wall Street Journal article on November 15th, 2 months before January 6th, right when Biden was declared the winner, where they said that a top priority of the Biden administration is to reintroduce the war on terror, but this time on domestic soil.
You know what he's referring to here, right? And this is what. Let me just tell you what I'm getting out of this. On domestic soil, right? He's not talking about foreigners coming to America and becoming domestic terrorists. He's talking about you and I. This is their plan. This whole everything tonight is to expose their plan. Listen to what he's saying here. Because to confirm it, what did Joe Brandon just say in his speech, his demonic background and everything? What did he just say? Talking about the mega Republicans are the biggest threat to our democracy, right? Listen to this, because this means that they're getting ready to pull the hammer. If you ask me, and I don't want to be right in this, Lord Jesus, please allow me to be wrong. Maybe I'm just looking too much into it. But listen to what he's saying here.
So they justify it now in the wake of 1/6, even though before 1/6, this was what they were intending to do as a way of criminalizing their opposition and solidifying authoritarian powers on American soil.
Do you feel like you're going crazy as, you know, the opposition party is being gutted by the DOJ, that nobody is saying anything about this? How can this happen and no one notices?
Exactly. How can this happen and nobody notices, right? Well, people are noticing, right? And I've talked about this multiple times in the past. They're doing this because they want to get people intimidated not to go up against the kings and queens. That's what it's really all about. They don't want people to adhere to the U.S. Constitution. Why do you think that they put these other groups, right? These groups, right? Put them on the domestic terrorist watch list because they're malicious. This is all by design. It's their plan. Listen to this.
One of the most bizarre things is that skepticism towards the U.S. security state, the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, were long-standing principles of left-wing politics in the United States. Yeah. It was a staple of how the American left understood it. If you look at polling data or just the political framework now, where you see reverence for and belief in and applause for the CIA, the DOJ, the FBI, and the NSA is not on the American right, but on the American left. And it's the American right that has become skeptical of it precisely because it's being ushered in to punish criminal dissent. And that's why they called January 6th an insurrection, even while Biden mocks people and says, oh, you can't overthrow the U.S. government with your weapons. You need an F-15. And yet they turn around and say 900 people on January 6th is an insurrection. That's what they need to do to criminalize dissent on our soil.
Right. And you called that early. There's a reason they're using that word. And to the most rest of us, it was just annoying. But you saw immediately this was a legal precedent they were trying to set in order to do what they're doing right now. I appreciate
this. You know what is really disturbing, because they're coming after people like the communists have done in the past, right? Anytime they had someone that's going to step up and do the right thing, they went after their political opponents. They're doing the exact same thing here. Talking about tyrants. They're not even hiding the fact that they're tyrants. You know, there was a clear difference between President Trump and how he had these nuclear codes, you know, and they said that he was possibly going to sell them to Russia, right? It's completely insane. But remember Hillary Rodham Clinton, right? Remember how the media and the FBI treated her when it came to her emails, right? Let me share this with you, because there's a clear difference between how they treated Hillary Rodham Clinton, and she actually did it. And we're supposed to say allegedly, right? But we know that she deleted the server because the FBI even said that she deleted the server. They said that she did it. The FBI said that she destroyed evidence that was subpoenaed, right? Y'all have heard all this over and over. But listen to this. This is just really interesting how they say this. And just listen.
Ever worked at CIA?
When you have this kind of information, you guard them with your life.
I don't think it's a big legal problem.
The American people don't care about this. I have been utterly bored with the story.
There's going to be a cloud of suspicion, though, by those who just want to see conspiracy. There's almost no way she can clear this up to the satisfaction of critics on the other side in terms of the politics of this.
It's not even a scandal. It's really controversy. The scandal's the Republicans' word for it.
At this point, it's all just background noise.
There is, in some ways, no there there.
And voters don't seem to care about it, according to polls.
147 FBI agents are focused on this. I mean, don't they have other problems? There's no crime in the country they should be worrying about.
And this is them talking about Hillary Clinton when she was doing all that corruption. And there's like, don't they have a crime they could be, you know, investigating? There's a crime they should be worried about. This was a crime. And it's like the love for Hillary Rodham Clinton and the Democrats. You know, this is what I always say. Demons will protect demons. I say it all the time. This is a clear example of that. Demons protecting demons.
So how is she going to overcome these distractions?
Some people, as you know, Errol, had feared that this would be this never-ending fishing expedition. When does the email issue go away for Hillary?
The question is whether this will ever go away.
Are we ever going to get out of this cycle? Is she ever going to get out of this cycle?
It just feels like a swirling sort of process story that is of more interest to the media and people who already dislike Hillary Clinton.
In the kangaroo courts of right-wing talk radio, they have already convicted her.
How big a deal is this really? I was in an event last night, and both Democrats and Republicans were quoting Bernie Sanders saying, "I'm sick and tired of hearing about your damn emails."
I mean, come on. They're screaming about when is all this going to be over with? When is all this going to end? They're screaming, you know, they were screaming at, how long are we going to keep going on about the emails? How long are we going to keep going on? Because she had top security information on this private email server, never ever had a government email address. She never did. She was running it all through that. There's no telling how much corruption she was doing. There's no telling how high the corruption went with her. There's no telling, because she deleted all of that information and she still gets to walk around free. Demons will protect demons. Are y'all getting it now? Demons will protect. I know y'all get it. Give you another example of how demons will protect demons. Fetterman. Fetterman is like, we need to allow these people who've committed murder out. Right? It's just the penalty for them, you know, life in prison or even death row is just too harsh after they don't kill somebody, purposely kill somebody, right? Not even just an accident, you know, like if you're in a car and you're going and maybe your brakes went out or something happened or you got this, you know, you're on your phone, right? Because it happens, accidents happen, right? You didn't deliberately try to kill somebody, right? But he's talking about people who actually you know, maybe they didn't say, okay, I'm going to plan it out, map it out, but they went out into the street and said, okay, let's just target this person. And they actually killed somebody. Listen to this, because you can't make this stuff up.
My hope is there's a political will to abolish
death by incarceration for second-degree murder here in Pennsylvania, because it's a tragedy, and that's my hope.
And he's trying to go into Congress. See, again, this is the idea, and this black lady, yeah. We need to allow these murderers to get out free. We don't need to hold the murderers in. We don't need to keep them there. The crime is so bad. And okay, so again, here's something else that with the plan, right? Because that's part of the plan too, allowing criminals to go out onto the streets, and we're seeing that. I'm pretty sure y'all have been seeing the videos left and right, and the news been talking about how they let these criminals out, cashless bail. These prosecutors were like, okay, push them out, and the judge will push them back out into the streets, and they go out and they commit more crimes. The crime is up throughout the entire nation, and they want to act like everything is normal, everything is fine. It's up more than 80%. And it's not just there. It's multiple places. The crime is up. All of this is by design. See, they need this chaos. They need all this happening. They need the chaos, because then, how they say it, let no crisis go to waste. The first time I heard it was Hillary Rotten Clinton used it. Let no crisis go to waste. But there's been other Democrats have used it in the past. But that's exactly what they're doing here. They're trying to keep people from knowing the truth while all of this crime activity is happening. And then they don't want you to be able to protect yourself. You know what? I just wonder, are people getting it? And last night I had to apologize, because for some of the stuff I show the stuff, and I just expect people to, I share the information, and I just kind of expect people to, to see it. But then I see all these trolls get on there, and they just don't see it. The trolls just don't see it. Why is that? It goes right to what I'm always saying. You can show them the truth. You can tell them the truth. But they'll still go along with the lie. They reject the truth and accept the lie. This is the world we live in. Last night I was explaining, like, this is my cup. There's nothing in it. But they want to tell you this is a M. They want you to say this is an M, but no, it's a W, because this is the way it sits. And they say, well, when you turn it this way, it is an M. No, it's a W. It's still a W. It's just an upside down W. That's all it is. It's a W, because that's the way the cup is. These people are insane. It's completely insane right now. I want to share one more thing with you before I bounce out of here. This is about our southern border. Now, I put a short video out there earlier on the southern border, and I don't know if any people saw it, but y'all remember just here recently, Sunday, Kamala Harris was saying that the border's secure. Did y'all see that? I put a little video together, and I actually shared it. Maybe I'll just play it again here, because I thought it was pretty interesting. If I can find it, if I can find it, I'm gonna play this video again just to show it, because she's such a nasty person, and she completely lies about everything. I thought I had it. I guess I don't. Well, that's just bummer. Here, let me do this. It was really good too. Is this it here? Yep, here it is. Here it is. Let me play this one for you. And then I got one more for you, but I'm going to play this one first. And I played this earlier. I actually put it out just on Facebook, but I want y'all to listen to what she's saying and watch the video at the same time. Just listen. Okay? Watch.
The border is secure, but we also have a broken immigration system, in particular over the last 4 years before we came in, and it needs to be fixed.
We're going to have 2 million people cross this border for the first time ever. You're confident this border's secure?
we have a secure border, in that is a priority for any nation, including ours and our administration. But there are still a lot of problems that we are trying to fix, given the deterioration that happened over the last 4 years. We also have to put in place a law and a plan for a pathway for citizenship for the millions of people who are here and are prepared to do what is legally required.
This is not legally required. I mean, the people just coming in, and she's saying the border secure. I mean,
to gain citizenship. We don't have that in place because people are playing politics.
And that's what it all comes down to. The people that you see jumping the wall like that. And remember, Karine Jean-Pierre said that people are not, people aren't just walking across the border, right? The truth is not in these people. They lie repeatedly. They constantly lie. This is their plan. This has been their plan all along, people. This is what everything that we're seeing, the invasion of our border, part of the plan. The recession, the economy, part of the plan. Inflation, part of the plan, right? All part of the plan. The food prices going through the roof, part of the plan. American people struggling to pay the light bill, part of the plan. Rolling blackouts, trying to force people to get an electric vehicle and then you can't charge it, part of the plan. Labeling parents for going to school board meetings because you want to protect your children as domestic terrorists, part of the plan. Putting America last and because they hate the term America first, part of the plan. Pushing us into a one world system, part of the plan. Everything I'm telling you, all of this stuff that is wrong for the humanity alone, part of the plan. All of this. This stuff does not have to happen, but is happening because it's part of the plan. Listen to this one. It's all part of the plan, what the Democrats are doing.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I address you in this body because I know that you more than most know what it's like to have the impacts of illegal immigration in your state and across the border. In the town of Yuma, a town of about 100,000 people, every day into their hospital, they get 11 people that go into the emergency room. They get an additional 4 or 5 women every day in Yuma, Arizona, to go into the maternity ward. $20.4 million in uncompensated care provided by that hospital in just the first 6 months of this year.
This is horrible.
Listen. Mr. Speaker, you and I both know that when the Vice President said on Sunday that our border is not open, she was not telling the truth. Our border is wide open, and it has inherent dangers and problems for the United States of America. We can close it today. I encourage members of this House to join me in getting my discharge petition out. We need to close this border.
We need to close the border. But they're not going to because they want, how did Tucker say it? The replacement theory. You know, the left is saying, oh my goodness, Tucker's racist. I want to replace the white people. And it's not even true. It's not even true. They're wanting to bring all these people in to replace the voters that they're losing. I'm saying it. Is it racist for me to say that? Because just 2 months ago, there was a report that over 1 million registered Democrats changed their party affiliation to Republicans. So they have to go after the political rivals. They have to. They don't have any choice now. They don't have any choice. They have to go after them and try to make it where they can no longer run for political office ever again. Because if they don't do it, they know what's going to happen to them. These people, they're drunk on power. Look how long Nancy Pelosi's been there. I mean, come on, people. Look how long she's been there. Look how long Chuck Schumer's been there. Look how long Lindsey Graham's been there. Look how long Mitch McConnell's been there. These people are drunk on power. They're drunk on being able to say that. See, they actually believe they're above the law because they're the lawmakers. You can't make this stuff up. All right, let me say thank you to a couple people before I bounce out of here. Thank you so much for sharing this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Listen, I'm live right now on my audio podcast, and I encourage everyone, please join me on my audio podcast, right? Because I'm in the future, I expect to do some podcasts exclusively on there, right? So please join me on there. It's different stuff, Okay. Michelle, thank you so much for the stars. I really appreciate it. And Gerald, thank you so much for the super chat. Patty, thank you for the Facebook stars. Lisa, thank you for the stars. Joyce, thank you for the stars. Judy, thank you for the stars. Michelle, thank you for the stars. Tay, I guess Tay, thank you so much for the stars. Vivi, thank you for the stars. And I think there was one before Vivi and I missed it. Nancy, thank you for the stars. Selena, thank you so much for the stars. Anne, thank you. Vicky, thank you. Sherry, thank you. Ruby, thank you. And I think that is it. All right, awesome. Hey, everybody, please bless me and hit the share button. Please bless me and hit the share button. That's, Facebook is the only one that allows me to see that. Wow, look at that, it's at 580 shares. This was a good one tonight. 580 shares. Can y'all help me to get to 600 shares? It's 581. 581. Please, can y'all help me get up to 600 shares? Now, you would extremely bless me if the 700 people that are watching right now, if all of y'all hit the share button, y'all would tear up the algorithms. I'm telling you. So please hit the share button. It's at 589. I don't know how fast it updates here, but it's going up a little bit. So if y'all can help me, bless me, help me get to 600 shares at least. That's not asking too much, right? 602. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Yeah, I guess it just had to take some time to update. But again, if the 700 people that are watching right now, if you're watching right now, if all of y'all hit the share button, you would greatly bless me. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. See you on the flip side. Reality check.